Hi, this is Katie, and thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast. And today on My Wins, we actually had a listener request for this topic. And so if you have a request, I would be more than happy to accommodate you and see how I can explain or describe or just give my 2 cents on something that would help you. So you feel free to always email me at listen@mysensesmyspace.com. So today we are talking about the spice rack or your spice collection or whatever you want to call it. But it's wherever you are storing the spices in your kitchen. And so this can take many forms, right? We've seen possibly our grandmothers and mothers' generations hanging a spice rack on the wall. And some people still do that. But I'm just kind of thinking back to kind of those old kind of antique bottles that would be in this kind of like holder that you would actually hang like a picture. I know my dad actually made one for my mom out of wood, and it was heavy, definitely. And she would collect, all the spice bottles, especially the ones that she liked. Like, if the oregano always came in a pretty bottle, she would get multiples of those. Sometimes she would actually use old alcohol bottles, the little single doses of any kind of vodka, or I'm not a drinker, so I don't really know all my alcohols, but like brandy or something, those little tiny bottles. Sometimes she would use a little funnel and put some spices into those. But nowadays, you see that it's really popular to have like all of your spice bottles kind of match. And so many of us get them at local cookware stores or on Amazon, and a lot of them can be very plain. And then you can go on Etsy and order stickers to put on them that have very clear names of all the spices. So there's all these options out there, right? But what could we do as a little project to spice things up and to make it a whole lot more usable? And what you can consider is getting them all down and going through and making sure that the ones that you have are mostly fresh. Like, we can't achieve perfection by having all the spices in our drawers 2 weeks old, right? Like, that's on the extreme part of things and not quite what some people could do. Even if you had like $1 million, I don't even know if people even do that. So let's back away from that idea and think about like, how can we go through these and get rid of the ones that we definitely have not used. Look at the patterns of like, okay, I've never used this spice. We need to let that go. I've used this spice for exactly one recipe in the last 5 years. We need to let that go. Can we look at the things that we have and just refill them? Do we just need to refresh a couple of things and get everything back in stock? So, going through them and just making sure that the spices that you have on hand are really the ones that you use every day. The listener actually also related back that they would go to like Costco and get the really big versions of spices and then never get through them. Those giant bottles of cinnamon or onion powder or onion mix powder of some kind. And you have these ideas of going, yes, I love cinnamon. I'm going to put this on my coffee every single day. So I need this giant one. And you look at it 3 years later and it's barely half empty. So how can we look at those kinds of things and look at our purchases and go, you know what, it would probably be better if we buy in smaller quantities and just keep refilling what we have. And there are at the spice store, you'll see the spice store. So there are just spice stores like Penzies and stuff like that, that you can, we used to have some in the area here where I live and they closed down sadly, but you can still order online and just get like essential spices that you need, or some really great mixes that they offer. Again, keeping in mind, you know, how often you would use something. And the local grocery stores also have like a little bulk section of spices where you can just get like a little baggie's worth and then put it in your jar when you get home. There's also, you know, on Amazon, they have those giant bags of spices as well. And those are actually can be the same brand as the ones that they just refill the stores with. I think it's called like Frontier or something. I recognized the brand name. I was like, wait, that's the same thing that's just in the store. I don't need this 20 ounces of sage right now, but I can go to the store and get like a couple ounces, and that will do me for like a good 6 months. So keeping that in mind, looking at your now pared down spice collection and saying goodbye to those expectations of having like these wonderfully exotically spiced meals all the time, thinking all the time. We don't do that. We actually come back to the basics quite often. So things are pared down. Now, how do you want to store them? Is it with magnets on the fridge? Is it like in my house, we actually have one of those corner, what are they called? Cabinets. And we put these big giant Lazy Susans in there, and we actually put our whole collection on there. It's like at least 18 inches diameter that spins around, and we have just all of ours in alphabetical order because that's what works with my brain. I just go, oh, what is the name of that? Now, there's many times where I will forget the name of a spice, but I'm able to at least spin it and see the name clearly on the outside. My bottles do not match, definitely don't, but this works for me. You can also have a drawer that you pull out. Those great organizers, kind of like little mini risers that you can put inside of a drawer and have the labels facing up, or you can use also risers within a cabinet. So there's all sorts of different ways, and you could use something that you find at Goodwill that organizes like little bottles like this that maybe wasn't meant to be a spice rack, but you could turn it into one. So I hope these kind of ideas help. If you need any more assistance with this, I'm available to help you out if you want to get in touch at the same email address. But yeah, consider, taking a quick look at your spices this weekend or this next week and see if maybe you could give it a little love and clear it out a little bit. Hope that helps, and I will see you next time on the My Senses, My Space podcast.